Yo, what's going on, guys? Today's episode is going to be different. I am now on my 10th episode of IgnitorSMP, which means I've actually made 11 episodes because I had an episode 0. What I've decided to do is kind of do like a 100 days in Minecraft. Now, this took me a lot more than 100 days because each episode took quite a while, but I want to fly through almost like a fast recap of every single thing that has happened in IgnitorSMP from my point of view so far. I'm going to give some behind the scenes, so even if you've already been watching the series, this might be entertaining there. And if you're brand new, this is the perfect launching spot to be able to get started in this series. So let's just jump right into it. Here we go. Episode 0 starts off with me trying to introduce myself, but the rain rudely interrupts me. Oh, it just started raining. Like, seriously, when I first joined the server, it rained all the time. Every time I hit record, it would start raining. I got some beautiful, beautiful gifts from Invisible Santa and the other Igniter members. Woohoo! I spent some time looking at the map, kind of looking around the shopping district. Finally, I just went off in a direction and I found a village. And next to that village, I found a spot that I would call home. I started off with mining. I was pretty lucky because Vid found me early on and hooked me up with a fortune pick. I paid him 3 diamonds for it. Definitely well worth it. I wasn't that productive, even though I found a lot of stuff while mining. I didn't build very much, but I did throw some flowers at P-Boy Jr. Episode 1, there was so much shenanigans. It starts off in the beginning with me flexing how many iron golems there are around my base. When I first moved in, there were hundreds and hundreds of golems around the village. It was kind of insane. I received a really awesome gift from Onyx that had a lot of useful stuff, but the thing I appreciated the most was the Vid MC head. I wore it around all the time. In fact, instead of actually building a base, I built a giant altar for Vid. Now, as an early game build, this was a really expensive build. It used all of my diamonds and all of my gold. I also went and bought stuff from the shops just so I could build this altar. I think it turned out pretty neat. Between episode 0 and episode 1, I actually did a live stream where I had a lot of the Igniter members meet up. And one of the things that they did was they gave me a tour around the server. It was a ton of fun. We also played a mini game that we made. Basically, we built a giant dirt tower up in the sky and we beat each other to death with sticks. I highly recommend going back and watching this. I was laughing so hard, I almost started crying. Oh, yes! Yes! One of my favorite parts is where I trash talk P-Boy for having a terrible starting spot, and then he ends up actually beating us all at the game.
Oh, you want to be right there, P-Boy? Wait, time out. That's the worst spot you could be, man.
No.
That's so bad.
No. This is perfect.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yep.
What am I counting down from?
From 100.
I had a really dark idea for a shop, and I asked Onyx if you'd help me with it. And he agreed to help me a little too fast. Basically, the idea was I was gonna build a white van and we were gonna sell a bunch of different meats out of the back of it. We renamed a bunch of meat to be kind of funny things like panda meat, jellyfish meat, koala meat, kangaroo meat, the neighbor's puppy, a whole bunch of different names. And we made a shop that in the back of the van would be selling all of these meats. We also kidnapped Vid MC's horse and made a little torture dungeon at the bottom. I have a lot more plans for this shop, so hopefully Onyx will come back, because if I do it with anybody, I would like to continue to have Onyx included. Episode 2, I started recording inside my new cow pen. I didn't realize when I was doing the intro that my face was in the cow's butt. That was a little weird. The other notable things that took place in this episode was I built a giant snowman. It's a pretty cool snowman. I also, in this episode, trapped Matrick. He's my new pet. Never gain freedom again. You're living in there, buddy. I built a super furnace inside the giant snowman. On the top floor, I built a lava farm. I didn't get any mail because nobody loves me. Episode 3 starts off with me confessing to murder. But hear me out. I only murdered the wandering villagers because they were soliciting when I clearly had signs posted, no soliciting. Someone left me a whole bunch of soliciting signs afterwards, even way up on my snowman. I decided to build a giant P-Boy Jr. statue that's now part of my base for some reason. I think it's pretty cool. I'm not really sure why I did this, but I like it. I built a new storage room. My old one was way too small. I also started using colored concrete on the walls. I did green and black. Also, I got super lucky. Look at this beautiful skeleton spawner right here. Boom! I was able to collect a whole bunch of bones and XP from this. Like, I got a couple of different shulker boxes of bones and arrows and stuff. There's even more upstairs. So here's my base. And you can see that I've been doing a little bit more work since I showed it off last. I'm actually really glad that I have these shots because it's really fun to go back and see how much the base has changed episode to episode. Episode 4 starts off with me killing skeletons with a really catchy song. Killing the skeletons. I added more green to the walls and made the base a little bit larger. Outside, I went and I added some coarse dirt and just made it look a little bit more lived in. I also met the villagers that lived next door and started doing some simple trades with them. I found another spawner really close to my base. It's a zombie spawner, but I never did anything with it. In fact, to this day, I still haven't turned it into anything. I went and built one of the ugliest shops on the whole server. I sell like moss and dirt and stuff. I still like it, but yeah, it's pretty ugly. So, oh, I see, look right there, guys. I see a black beacon line right there. That means we just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. I wonder who it's from. I don't know what that means. Episode 5 starts off with an entitled villager sleeping in my bed. All right, scoot over. And I was super rudely interrupted by Matrick in the beginning of my intro. We're gonna start off super practical. Right off the bat, I need... Matrick, be quiet. I'm doing my intro. For some reason, I thought it would be really entertaining to start off my episode by strip mining. I barely found anything. Where are you, diamonds? Why can't I find you? I eventually was able to find some diamonds, and I used those diamonds to create Ignitor coins, which is like a new currency on the server. Oh, by the way, I redid this tunnel. What do you guys think? I kind of like it. Before it was just plain. It was basically stone and it looked like this. That little wheat farm was an embarrassment, so I decided to turn it into a giant wheat farm. And some wheat here, and some wheat there. Here a wheat, there a wheat, everywhere a wheat. That's so much better. I thought it would be kind of cool to redo every single one of these villager houses and like do it kind of in a different theme. So this one I just had a bunch of mushrooms, so I just kind of changed out basically some of the blocks with the mushroom blocks. It's okay. I think it's a nice little pop of color. And then for this one, I just decided to do a dirt and moss roof. It turned out okay. I put a nice little chimney on it. The interior is not the best, but nothing says cozy like iron bars. I then upgraded the town hall by adding a bunch of stone on the ground and some barrels and just a bunch of random details. Episode 6 started off super sketchy. Matrick wanted me to kill all of my cows. It's gonna be a good one. I'm super... What's that, Matrick? You want me to kill all my cows? I could never. I'm so sorry. Monty just joined the server, so we filled his whole area with cats. We did a whole bunch of upgrades around the village, upgraded some of the villager houses and added carts and stuff. I also made a nature trail that goes all the way from the village to the shopping district. It's pretty neat. This is the super fast time-lapse song. 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 There was a whole bunch of abandoned buildings in the shopping district, so I thought it would be a good idea to use Sketchy Steve, which is the character that Onyx and I used to sell meats out of the back of the van. I made it so Sketchy Steve was counterfeiting diamonds in the basement of the old post office. Now, here's a behind the scenes thing. I actually originally meant to rename the diamonds diamonds. You get it? Diamonds? But I actually forgot to do this when the time came, so it didn't really make a lot of sense. All right, now the next part of my plan is I'm going to go buy a bunch of stuff with these counterfeit diamonds at VidShop, and then I'm going to resell them for real diamonds at my new shop. Or, I mean, Sketchy Steve's shop. It's genius. It's absolutely genius. So let's go on a little spending spree. I really, really like this storyline. Make sure you check out Vid's video to get his perspective. Episode 7 starts off like any other, rowing my boat in the nether, as one does. Ronnie and I pranked P-Boy by building a secret base underneath his starter base. The only thing is, he actually never found it. And it looked really cool, but it was too hidden, and he didn't find it. So, Cyber and I decided to make it a little bit more obvious. I needed a new enchantment room, so I decided to use P-Boy Jr.'s brain from the base that I made in a previous episode. I like it. I needed netherite, so I decided to get a whole bunch of beds and go look for some. This was a terrible experience. Let's move on. After episode 7 came out, a lot of people told me I should have been using TNT instead of beds. So, I decided to do the same thing, but this time with TNT. Over 1,000 TNTs. And boy, was it a blast. Just kidding. I still didn't really like it. But I did get a lot of ancient debris. Not as much as you think you would get with 1,000 TNTs, but still quite a bit. Episode 9 starts out with me at my new creeper farm. The episode before, I had to buy a whole bunch of gunpowder to make the TNT, so I decided to build a creeper farm. But while I was AFK overnight, someone filled up my area with chickens, which I killed. Mwah! My new creeper farm gives me all the gunpowder that I could ever need. Plus, it gives me stuff like string and a little bit of bones, that kind of stuff. Very, very nice. This was actually Waddle's design that I used, so maybe I'll leave the link in the description if I remember. Otherwise, go check out Waddle. It looks like someone made me a nice little thing behind me that says, "You're awesome." Isn't that so nice? That's what I love about this community. Look at how nice everybody is on IgnitorSMP. Fantastic. I made a lot of small changes around my area. I pushed back my nether portal. I added different dirt and stuff around. Just slowly decorating it. I still have a way down into my little area down here. And I decided to texture the walls. Because the solid green just wasn't doing it for me. So I textured the walls and I textured the ceiling. I felt like this big room was just way too open, so I decided to make a koi pond in the middle of it, and to use this little area right here as a water feature. Take a block, leave a block, playing Minecraft on IgnitorSMP, making a koi pond as you can freaking see. Place a block here, leave a block there. Oops, that block isn't supposed to be there. Alright guys, this is what I eventually turned out to look like. I flew over to meet with Vid because I had something that he wanted. And it had to do with my new shop.
Random 7S, how are you, sir?
I am doing good. How are you?
You might notice over here, there's this case that's quite empty at the moment. But you'll notice that there's something in there that's not in there.
Are you talking about this?
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
This right here?
I'm sure you can play it. Listen, it's so lovely.
Vid and I listened to this beautiful disc over and over again. There we go. Oh wait, oh no!
Thanks. Perfect. See? That's where it goes. Just gonna be right in there.
It does look nice.
Oh, look. And now you can't get it out.
I was able to get back my disc, but now I have trust issues. I flew over to Onyx's old shulker shop, and he let me use it, so I turned it into Random Box Incorporated. So basically what happens is people choose a random box, and sometimes it has good stuff, sometimes it doesn't have good stuff. It's kind of a gamble. but I put Vid's disc that he really wants in here. So if he wants the disc, he'll have to pay diamonds and get lucky to get it. It took me a long time to get this all set up. It took a lot of trips back and forth to bring all of the shulker boxes. Stylish sent me a message asking if I could help him with something. How come every time someone needs my help, what they really need from me is for me to die repeatedly?
Do you like your head?
I think it's nice. After getting stabbed several times by Stylish Thought, that monster, I ended up going and greeting the new member that joined IgnitorSMP. Thaddeus just joined, so I went to go whip some eggs at him when he first joined. But when I threw the eggs, I accidentally broke the map, which wasn't that big a deal, except when I flew down to pick up the pieces of the map, some of them were gone. Like, the egg broke the map and it disappeared. So I put back as much as I could. I had to go remake these maps. So while making the map over here, I realized something. It says, you're awesome right there. I thought that was so sweet. But when I went to go remake the map here, I saw on the map that from above, it says, you're a nerd. Ouch. Yo guys, thanks so much for watching. I super appreciate it. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace.